So Dixie did make that golden cross yesterday. That's what's pushing Bitcoin all the way down. Hello Adrian and welcome back to my channel. It is 7:30 p.m. UTC plus 8 is my time zone, and yes, I'm back, but I'm not gonna make this stream very long because well, I'm still very dizzy and I'm really not feeling well at all. So I'm really still sick, and so yeah, but I didn't want to leave you guys out hanging because there's actually quite a lot of stuff happening, right? So anyways, hope for the people who are a little bit too late, well, you can just rewatch the stream because yeah, I'm not gonna make it too long, okay guys? But yeah, wishing you the best on this beautiful Wednesday, on this hump day. We're in the middle of the week. So anyways, let's move back into yesterday. So yesterday, what did I say? This was a rising wedge, as we can see, and I said very likely because of this golden pocket ratio level, we will see either we will be breaking and a 4-hour candle close above this this orange line towards the upside. We would be making reversal and basically a higher high, and that would be ending the downtrend on the 4-hour chart. But as you can see, yeah, like I said, the probabilities were higher. The probability was higher that that it was going to be breaking towards the downside, as you can see. And then when I told you if it would make a body that was be lower than this orange line, I would be taking a short towards the downside, and that's basically what I did. And as you can see, price went all the way down here. I would say I told you guys very likely we would have a bounce around this green box here, but eventually very likely it would be a continuation towards the downside around this lower 11,000 ish area, and that's basically what happened yesterday. Now the question is it over? Is the downtrend over? Well, let's remove all of this because this is no longer important. This is also no longer important. This is no longer important as well. So let's take a look on what is going on here. Well, first of all, let's take a look by just making a Fibonacci retracement from this top line where we broke down towards the downside, and we can clearly see that we are currently right now here at the 0.5 Fib level. Do I think that we still have continuation to the upside? Very likely. I think we will get back once again to this golden pocket ratio or the EMA 21, as you can see on the 4-hour. But the question is, once again, are we going to be finally making a higher high to break out of this downtrend? Yes or no? It's as simple as that, to be honest. So yeah, this is basically our structure that we have in our downtrend right now. So we have basically our high, we have our low, we have our lower high, we have our lower low, we have our lower high, we have our lower low, and then yeah, this is basically, if we get rejected once again here, what is going to be happening? You've guessed it, we're gonna make a lower low once again, right? So that's basically what constitutes of a downtrend. But if we reverse right here, if we make a close that is higher than this point here, then of course we have a reversal in the trend, and the downtrend is no longer valid, right? So that is basically what we are looking for right now, and let's see how high we can go with this push towards the upside. The only negative thing that I'm currently seeing is the following: we still don't have bullish divergence. So if we are looking at the RSI right now, if we are looking at everything, we can clearly see here downtrend, but downtrend. So no bullish divergence to be seen on the BTC chart just yet. So what does that tell me? Well, very likely we're gonna still have a lower low rather than a higher low until I finally will see that bullish divergence. Is it possible that we reverse without bullish diversion? Of course it's possible, but yeah, I just still think that is very unlikely. So in the short term, what am I expecting? Of course, probably rejection from around this area once again, around the 11.5 11.6 ish area, and then continuation towards the downside, and very likely around the lower 11,000 once again, like 10,980. This S2 level is very probable. Another thing that makes me very cautious about the price is of course this on the daily, right? So we had the daily close, and the problem is as following. Yeah, some people would say, well, this could be our potential lower high. sorry, higher low, because this is our low, would be our higher low, and this basically, if we put the trend line like this could be potentially our higher low, right? But the problem is the closure of that daily candle. And as you can see here, the closure of this daily candle, the body is lower than this one. So we basically made a lower low here in comparison with our previous potential higher low. So yeah, that doesn't bode well. That usually means continuation towards the downside. So do I expect further down? Yeah, very, I mean, that is the higher probability, after, of course, a small dead cat bounce, which is what we are currently seeing right now. Well, it's not really a small bounce, right? I mean, if we are looking at things, we went all the way up from 11,100 basically all the way back up to 11,400, which is already a $300 pump towards the upside. So it's not like a small bounce or anything like that, but yeah, this looks like very likely towards the EMA 21, and very likely a push down more. That is basically what I am thinking, or kind of am rather expecting. So anyways, as you can see right here, right, so the price went all the way down to 11,100, but as you can see, the close is where what matters, right? So as you can see, it's still higher low here. So that's basically what I'm expecting as well for the next one, right? So if let's say we go all the way down here, 10,900 ish, for example, but we close back up here, we will still be making a higher low, right? So as long as that higher low structure does not break, things are okay in the medium level. But if that of course, if that higher low structure breaks, as I told you before, that would not be bullish. Then we would have a confirmation of a downtrend on the daily, and then yeah, that would not be pretty at all. And yeah, basically the same thing we can see right now on the RSI as well, right? So what we can see is a bullish RSI structure, because it's sort of like a falling wedge type, right? Some people would call it a channel towards the downside. That's more negative, but yeah, I still think it's more like a falling wedge rather than anything. And as you can see, we make a small bounce here, but it's very likely that we go one more leg towards the downside first before we make that break towards the upside, right? So in the very short term, yeah, I still think with this daily closure that we had today, very likely more continuation towards the downside first, rather than the upside. But of course, having that bounce that we are currently experiencing right now, as you can see, either the 0.5 FIP level or the the golden pocket ratio level is what I'm expecting, depending on how high or how much we can push towards the upside. But no divergences, no bullish divergences, bad daily candle close. That doesn't that doesn't bode well for me overall. The more good news is actually on Ether, because well, we've checked on Ether, and what I've been speaking about, Ether very likely going to be bouncing here at this EMA 200 level, and as you can see, it bounced perfectly on that EMA 200 level. That was a potential buy-in spot, but the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is the following. We do have bullish divergence on the Ethereum price, as you can see here. Went lower low, and RSI made a higher low. Went lower low, and RSI made a higher low. So we have a double impact on the RSI, where we made twice on the 4 hour a bullish divergence towards the upside. So I'm expecting to actually see Ethereum leading once again. I mean, not leading, but pushing up higher once again, rather than Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is because Ethereum is pushing the price a little bit up higher. I think Bitcoin has the chance to be pushing up a little bit higher as well, right? But like I said, somewhere around this area here, and then yeah, we will have to find out if we make a higher high or not. But yeah, like I said, still very, very unlikely. Does that change anything on the higher time frames, or on the the super high time frames like the weekly or something like that? Not really. If we are looking on the weekly, we can clearly see that yeah, basically this is the structure on the weekly, and we can see that yeah, the Stokes are still in the bullish territorium. The RSI is coming down, but as you can see here, as long as we don't have a weekly close below 11,130, things are pretty much okay. It's not nothing that bad or anything like that. Yesterday I also said, yeah, you have to be watching the the 2-day candle close. Very likely it's going to be going back down where to the EMA 21, and as you can see, beautiful touch on the EMA 21 on the 2-day to the 2-day chart, right? As you can see, but overall the structure, as you can see, yes, it's below the 10 simple moving average, but we are still above the EMA 21 and everything, blah 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 and so on. So this can be just a nice reset of everything, and you know, things can be perfectly still okay. Now, why am I still overall quite bullish is because of the weekly, right? So let's take a look on basically what the reason why I'm still macro bullish, right? So what structure do we have here? So what happened here is we basically created a ascending triangle, as you can see, and we broke up from it, right? That was basically our pattern. Where do we see the very similar pattern that we've seen before? It was here, right? So you can see here we had this ascending triangle, and we made that crush and that push towards the upside. And then as you can see, what happened when we pushed towards the upside, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks basically sideways with like a range that we went you know, in a range sideways up and down, but yeah, basically in a very nice range, as you can see here, right? So 5,000 to 5,500, as you can see, a beautiful range, and then we broke up and continuation towards the upside. Why? Because, well, our Stokes were in the bullish territorium and our RSI was in the bullish territorium as well. And basically, that's basically exactly the same pattern that we are seeing right now, as you can see. So we had that ascending triangle, and then basically we broke up towards the upside, and now we are like 2 weeks basically ranging, right? As you can see, we are same pattern. We are ranging 12,200 and basically 11,000, right, in between those areas. So this can go on for another 1-2 weeks or something like that, but that doesn't mean that you know, it is bearish or anything like that, as long as we don't break the range and we don't create a downtrend that is pushing us towards the downside, right? So those are the conditions that that has to be met and has to be held for me to be staying bullish, of course, towards the upside. But that's also the reason why I'm saying that it's super important that we don't break our structure on the daily, and we don't break our structure that we you know, that we are being that we are creating right now, because that would be breaking this RSI structure as well, would be breaking us down of this flag, right? And then of course, yeah, we can we've discussed that already before. If that does happen, very likely below 10k, I do see a bounce above this 10.5, but very likely we will be going all the way down to like you know, between 9.6 and 9.7 ish area. Did I make a box there? I did not make a box there yet. Let's put a box there. That would be this area here, this cluster here. Yeah, so that would be that cluster over there. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, and as you can see, that would be also the EMA 200, as you can see here, that is moving up from here, right? So it's obviously over time it's curling up, right? So somewhere around there is what I'm expecting, 9.6, 9.7, something like that. And it would also fill the CME gap that people are talking about, right? This the big old CME gap that we created when we had that push towards the upside. Let's show you the gap once again. This, 1 day that would be this gap over here. There. So yeah, that would be basically what would happen then. So yeah, I think oh yeah, to the Dixie. The reason is of course of the Dixie, and I told you guys already, what you have to be looking for is this golden cross here of the Dixie, and that's basically what happened. The EMA 21 cross over the EMA 55, and that's basically what pushed the price of Bitcoin. When that was confirmed, I was pretty confident that Bitcoin was not going to be breaking this structure towards the this resistance towards the upside. Pretty confident that it would be going towards the downside, and that's why I entered my short. I already exited my short. I closed my short at the S1 level at around 11,150, something like that. So it was still a very nice trade towards the downside. But right now, very likely, like I said, looking at everything, very doubtful that we will have a reversal immediately. Could happen, but yeah, just looking at everything, I still think that we'll be swiping a little bit lower. But once again, as long as we don't break that structure, and just looking at the overall macro structure on the weekly, on the monthly, things are still not, it's still not bad or anything like that. And we have the weekly close in a couple of days, so we will know a lot more about that. And the monthly close, of course, that will give us a lot of information in the on the macro level, right? So for now, I still think short term, we will very likely go a little bit lower, swipe the 11,000-ish area one more time after a rejection. If we break and we make a higher high, then yeah, things can be different. But with everything that is showing, it just seems very unlikely for me. But yeah, crazier things have happened before. Since I'm a little bit sick, I'm not really interested in setting a trade or anything like that. The only thing that I'm doing is I just put out some laddering position for longing positions in case we get to that 10,900-ish area, 10,950, something like that. I am putting myself along there because I do believe that even if we swipe down here, we will most likely get another bounce towards the upside. Like I said, usually one time, two time is not enough. Usually it will take 3 times, something like that, before it will break. So if we get that bounce, I'll play that bounce and then see if we finally create some bullish divergence. And then I'll be holding the long. If we don't create bullish divergence, then I'll just exit on the dead cat bounce, like what some people are doing right now at this moment in time, just exiting on the dead cat bounce here whenever we touch back a few $100s towards the upside. But yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna make it any longer for today. I'm really drained and I'm really exhausted, to be honest. So I'll try to do another video maybe a little bit longer tomorrow if my medicine is starting to work a little bit better. But until tomorrow, sorry guys, same time hopefully, if I'm around. If I'm not around, I'll post a message on my Facebook page that I'm not going to be streaming, but I hope I will be. I hope I will be. But until tomorrow, please stay home, stay safe.